Hey friends, I'm Amy, and today we're making one of my most favorite of all the favorite dinners. We're making creamy orzo with bacon and peas, and I make this anytime I don't know what else to make. I just always sort of land on this one because it's delicious and savory, and it's really easy to put together. It only has a few ingredients that many people already have in their pantry, and it has bacon in it, so that's always a win, because in my family, we just love some bacon, and we'll add it to anything you could conceivably add bacon to without it being weird. So since I made myself hungry just thinking about this, let's get cooking. First, measure out some frozen peas, and you want a minimum of 2 cups. I always heap the measuring cup until like one more pea would cause an avalanche, because I love lots of peas in this dish. But if you're not a fan of peas, you could also use frozen corn or edamame. Those are really good too. Then set that to the side for later. And now we need bacon. How much bacon is really up to you, but I tend to make between 6 and 8 slices. I don't always use all of it, but cooked bacon freezes really well, and it makes a great pizza or a salad topping if you have any left over. You can also cook the bacon one of 2 ways for this. You can bake it in the oven and chop it up when it's cooked, or you can chop it up while it's raw and then cook it directly in the pan. For the oven method, line the bottom of a baking sheet with foil. You want one that has a wire rack on top so the bacon isn't sitting in the grease. Bake it at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes or until the bacon is at your favorite level of crispiness. When it's cooked, move it to a plate lined with paper towels to catch any excess grease still on the bacon. For now, just set the bacon to the side to cool, and then carefully use the foil to pour the bacon grease into a large skillet, and you want about 1 to 2 tablespoons of bacon grease worth in the pan. While that bacon is cooking, pour 5 to 5.5 cups of chicken broth, stock, or bouillon in a medium saucepan. Just after pouring the bacon grease into the skillet, start heating this up over medium heat just until it gets hot and steamy. We want this to come just barely to a simmer so it's nice and hot. While that broth is going, we also want to heat up our skillet over medium heat. When the pan is hot and the grease just starts to sizzle, pour in 1 pound of orzo pasta, which is usually 1 box, and toast it in the bacon grease until the pasta starts to take on some golden color, about maybe 4 minutes or so. Stir this very often, almost continuously, so the orzo doesn't burn or stick. When that pasta starts to turn golden brown, take the hot chicken stock and pour it into the skillet. Be very careful though, and take this a little slow because this is going to be pretty exciting and sizzly. This is also why we want our broth to be very hot, because pouring cold liquid into this hot oil-covered pasta will cause a pretty violent reaction in the pan, and you'll have super hot liquid and oil splattering all over the place. With the hot broth, everything bubbles a lot, but you won't have an explosion, just a really satisfying steamy sizzle. Give this a little stir so the pasta doesn't start sticking to the bottom, and now it's time for our seasonings. Technically, you really only need salt and pepper for this, and both of those are to taste. However, how much salt you add will also be up to whether you use stock, broth, or bouillon, since broth tends to have a higher amount of sodium than stock, but bouillon puts both of them to shame with the salt content. I would also recommend going a little light right now with the salt, because this is going to reduce and the flavors will become much more concentrated. I also added some onion and garlic powder because they're my favorite seasonings and they taste delicious. Give everything a good stir, bring this to a boil if it isn't already there at this point. Then turn the heat down to low and simmer the orzo, stirring it every so often to keep it from sticking. Cook it for about 10 to 12 minutes or until the orzo is tender and it's soaked up a lot of the liquid. While the orzo is simmering over there, shred up about 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. I would recommend shredding the cheese fresh from a block or a wedge, but if you prefer, you can use pre-shredded cheese for this recipe. The anti-caking agents will cause some texture differences, but this dish is pretty forgiving and it doesn't really have any concrete rules other than don't pour cold broth into the hot oily pasta pan thing. When you have the cheese all shredded or measured out, if you're using pre-shredded cheese, set it to the side. Next, grab the plate of bacon from earlier and chop it up into bite-sized pieces. Now, if you chopped up the bacon and cooked it in the pan, you're already done, so just hang out and watch the rest of us still doing choppy prep. Set the bacon to the side too, and now we have everything ready to finish this. When the orzo is cooked to your favorite level of doneness and a lot of the liquid has been absorbed, pour the peas into the skillet and stir them up until the peas are evenly distributed throughout the pasta. Then let these cook for a minute or two until those peas are fully heated through. They should be partially thawed by now from sitting out while everything else was cooking, so they should heat through pretty fast. Now add in the Parmesan cheese and stir again until the cheese is fully melted and incorporated into the pasta. Last, add in the chopped bacon, or however much of the bacon looks good for your preference, and stir that in as well until everything is evenly distributed. Let everything cook for about another minute or so just to make sure the bacon is also nice and heated through, and then move the pan off the heat. Give it a taste to test for salt and pepper, and if you need some more, stir that in until you're happy with the flavor, and dinner is served. Earlier, I did call this creamy orzo with bacon and peas, and it's definitely creamy, but it doesn't actually have any cream in it. The creamy texture comes from that ultra concentrated starchy broth and the Parmesan cheese. They bind together to make a savory, silky kind of a sauce that just clings to everything in the pan. It's also a nice and light creaminess instead of the rich and heavy creaminess of a cream-based sauce. Yeah, this is one of my favorite of the favorite dishes. It's light but so flavorful. Parmesan cheese and black pepper, the smokiness of the bacon, the sweetness of the peas, and that chickeny savoriness underneath all of it. It's delicious, it's easy, it's comforting, and it has bacon in it. You cannot go wrong when there's bacon in it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, maybe leave me a comment below. It helps my channel to grow, and I love doing this. This is so much fun. Come and hang out on Wednesdays, because we're making restaurant copycats at home, and those are epic. We're getting so much more than double the food for half the price, and every recipe we've made is so much better than the restaurants. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Sunday for another comforting, cozy, home-cooked meal. Bye.